No one has seen the wind. The universe is not only queerer than we imagine, but it is queerer than we can imagine.
Mr. Markovsky, we see a lot of people in here who claim they want to know the ultimate truth about reality. They want to peer under the surface at the big everything. But this can be a very painful process full of surprises. It can dismantle the world as you know it. That's why most people prefer to remain on the surface of things. Maybe you should go home. Let sleeping dogs lie. Take it easy. What do you say?
I say don't give me the brush off. Please. I want to know.
The history. The roots of quantum mechanics, the new physics of motion, are buried in the ancient soil of our earliest awareness of how things moved. Even further back in time, before any awareness of motion, there existed a tiny tendril from these roots. And that was the idea of the observer. When the first hypothetical observer was first learning this distinction, he was becoming conscious. Consciousness means awareness. And that first awareness had to be the concept of I am. In sensing this I, our first observer was learning that he was not his thumb or his foot. The in here experience was I. The out there experience was it. It is thought that perhaps 3,000 or more years ago, people were not able to distinguish the out there in a clear way from the in here or I am experience. They may have been only dimly aware of their capacity to make such a distinction. They had no I consciousness. Julian Jaynes offers a speculation on the development of the I consciousness in his book, The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. Bicameral means having two parts. In the study of anthroposophy, Jesus gave us our I, or Christ consciousness. Within the idea of the observer is the notion of the passive or non-disruptive observer. The early Greeks were all about passive observation. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. In the latter part of the 16th century, almost 2,000 years after Aristotle lived, the fear of active analysis would at last be overcome. Passive observation had ended. The active observer was eager to explore and take things apart. This period of unrestricted inquiry would take precedence for the next 400 years. With the coming of active observation, the invisible wind became visible. It was seen as a hailstorm of molecules, tiny little particles only billionths of an inch in diameter. All motion was analyzed, or in principle, could be analyzed or envisioned as consisting of these tiny hailstones. A new spirit of inquiry had appeared. It foretold the coming of the mechanical age or age of reason. A new faith in the mechanical universe would be born. Michael Faraday would discover how to turn electricity into magnetism. James Clerk Maxwell would invent a mechanical model of light and show that light was a form of electricity and magnetism. These were a new breed, these scientist analysts. Their aim was to take things apart analyze everything, be critical, and use logic ruthlessly. The image of the cold, withdrawn scientist starts here. Unfortunately, the image of this kind of scientist is still with us today. The whole observed by the Greeks was always more than the sum of its parts. No longer. The whole envisioned during the mechanical age exactly equaled its sum of parts. No more and no less. This was essential to the mechanical picture. There were no missing pieces. Everything measurable was accountable. Newton's laws of motion were the supreme laws of the universe. But within their formulation was a carefully hidden assumption. The observer does not disturb. The observer observes what is there. The physical world was a gigantic clockwork. It could be taken apart and put back together. It would work the same. Newton's laws predicted a strange kind of symmetry. The clock would work just as well running backward as running forward. From any given moment in time, the future was completely determined and could be predicted by following the continuous mathematical description offered by Newton's laws.
Look at that. Fucking zombie shit. The grid. It's so antiquated. I mean, what century is this? Tesla had light bulbs he didn't have to plug in 1895.
And with the end of the 19th century, a new and yet ancient view would begin to emerge. It would start with two mysteries. The first would be the discovery that something was missing in the mechanical picture of light. That light waves traveled without any substance to wave in. The second would be the realization that the colors of light from any hot glowing material, such as the filament of a light bulb, could not be explained by the mechanical movement or vibrations of that material. In 1935, 2 decades after his paper on general relativity, Einstein wrote a paper with Boris Podolsky and Nathan Rosen, trying to expose the craziness of quantum mechanics, calling it spooky action at a distance.
Shall I tell you again about spooky action at a distance? Einstein's theory of entanglement.
I love the way you tell it.
Spooky action at a distance, Einstein's theory of entanglement. Quantum entanglement. Quantum physics. In January of 1986, a group of around 200 quantum physicists gathered at the World Trade Center in New York City to spend 1 week discussing just what this strange quantum business means. Instead of finding quantum mechanics restricted to ever tinier corners of the universe, we physicists are finding its applicability ever increasing to larger and larger neighborhoods of space and time. That old space-time of Einstein ain't what it used to be. It seems that there may be parallel worlds out there that we will be able to tune to. Even in this world, the future may be able to reach back toward us and alter our perceptions of reality itself. The double slit experiment. Essentially, the double slit experiment shows that when atoms are observed, they change. This is also called the observer effect.
So here's the last bit of sneakiness that we can play with atoms. Surely now, we're going to get to grips with it. Leave the detector there, but just very quietly go and unplug it. Don't let the atoms know that you're not spying on them. Make them think that you're still detecting them. So, yeah, okay, we're going to run the experiment atoms. Okay, get ready, one at a time. We're going to be checking on you. All right, so run the experiment again. Now, if you can explain this using common sense and logic, do let me know, because there's a Nobel Prize for you.
Quantum physicists discovered that every act of observation made of an atom by a physicist disturbed the atom. How? The meagerest attempt to observe an atom is so disruptive to the atom that it is not possible even to picture what an atom looks like. This has led scientists to question what is meant by any convenient picture of an atom. A few scientists hold to the belief that atoms only exist when they are observed to exist as fuzzy little balls. Quantum mechanics indicated that what one used to observe nature on an atomic scale created and determined what one saw. It is like always seeing light through a set of colored filters. The color of the light depends on the filter used. Your mind is a filter.
Okay, activate your system. Wonderful. Okay. Come on. Activate
System activated.
Can you please activate your system? One.
Whoa.
Activate your system, please.
Welcome.
To see the other dimension. Good luck.
Thanks.
Quantum mechanics indicates that there is an order to the universe. It simply isn't the order we expected. Even describing the true order of the universe is difficult because it involves something more than the physical world. It involves us, our minds, and our thoughts. The new universal laws
represents the surface of life. Surface. And we see surfaces, surfaces. And about 300 years ago, scientists, they started wondering what was this wood and what was this metal and what was it really? So they start looking into matter. So this side is matter, and this side is mind. Mind and matter. And the scientists, well, they discovered molecules. Deeper they went, and they discovered these atoms. And like I say, they thought that was the smallest particle for a long time. All these things we learn about in school. They went deeper, and they find inside the atoms these little electrons and neutrons and protons. And they went deeper and deeper and deeper, smaller and smaller particles, smaller and smaller particles. They found 4 forces. On a deeper level, the 4 became 3. And on a deeper level, the 3 became 2. And then, about 30 years ago, modern science, quantum physics, discovered the unified field. the unity of all the particles and all the forces of matter, of creation. Not only did they discover the unified field, but they found that everything that is a thing emerges from this field of no thing. Unmanifest it is. Unmanifest. It is no hyphen thing, but all things come from it. Anything that is a thing has emerged from this field of unity. It's oneness. The scientists know this exists.
We are all made of atoms. We all come from the same place. Atoms carry memory. This is why you hear the term remembering in the spiritual and healing worlds. We carry within us all the memories of our ancestors and our soul's karma. The universe, all the atoms in existence, is organized by resonance or vibration. This is why we vibe or attract certain people, places, and things while repelling others. This is what makes a cup, and the grass, and you, and me. It's all frequency. We are entangled with everything that surrounds us and our ancestors and our past lives. Why is this important? Because our past deeply affects our present.
What was that? The weather. Very peculiar, don't you think?
Yeah. Looks like the winds are changing.
Change is good.
Yeah, but it's not easy. I know what I have to do, but going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long. Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Ah! You see? So what are you going to do?
First, I'm gonna take your stick.
No. Not a stick. Hey! Where are you going?
I'm going back!
Good! Go on! Get out of here!
We have the power to alter, to change our current predicament here on Earth at this time. We do this through altering energy. Remember, everything is energy. You, me, the grass, the cup, the past, the future, the present, the teeny tiny particles. We're all energy. The art of altering energy is called energy work.
Every passing minute is another chance to turn it all around.